A flabellum, in Christian liturgical use, is a fan made of metal, leather, silk, parchment or feathers, intended to keep away insects from the consecrated body and blood of Christ and from the priests, as well as to show honor. The ceremonial use of such fans dates back to ancient Egypt, and an example was found in the tomb of Tutankhamun. A flabellum is also a fan-shaped structure on the fifth legs of horseshoe crabs. History. Flabella were in use in both pagan rituals and in the Christian Church from very early days. The Apostolic Constitutions, a work of the 4th century, state, "Let two of the deacons, on each side of the altar, hold a fan, made up of thin membranes, or of the feathers of the peacock, or of fine cloth, and let them silently drive away the small animals that fly about, that they may not come near to the cups." Western Christianity. Flabella were originally used liturgically in the West as well as the East, but the use in the Mass was discontinued in the Latin Church about the 14th century. Apart from the foregoing liturgical uses, a flabellum, in the shape of a fan, later of an umbrella or canopy, was used as a mark of honor for bishops and princes. Prior to Vatican II, two fans of this kind were used at the Vatican whenever the Pope was carried in state on the sedia gestatoria tour from the altar or audience chamber. Through the influence of Count di Tulmo di Brozza, the fans formerly used at the Vatican were, in 1902, presented to Mrs. Joseph Drexel of Philadelphia, USA, by Pope Leo XIII, and in return she gave a new pair to the Vatican. The old ones are exhibited in the Museum of the University of Pennsylvania. The spread is formed of great ostrich plumes dipped with peacock feathers on the palm of the arms of the Holy See, worked in heavy gold on a crimson field, the tiara being studded with rubies and emeralds. The new pair of flabella is on display in the Vatican Museum. Lisbon Patriarchal Cathedral also holds two flabella and one sedia gestatoria in its museum. It is thought the right of the cardinal patriarchs to use such honor was granted after the efforts of King John V of Portugal that obtained the titles and other honors such as the use of a dove, symbolizing the Holy Spirit, above the cardinal patriarch's carriage, in imitation of that of the popes. Eastern Christianity. In the Eastern Orthodox and Greek Catholic churches, the sacred fan is still used to the present day. It is generally made of metal, round, having the iconographic likeness of a seraph with 6 wings surrounding a face, and is set on the end of a pole. Fans of carved, gilded, or painted wood are also found. They are usually made in pairs. Historical examples. Among the ornaments found belonging to the Church of St. Riquia in Pontu, there is a silver flabellum, and for the chapel of Siswan, near Lille, another flabellum of silver is noted in the wool of Everard, the founder of that abbey. When, in 1777, Martin wrote his Voyage littéraire, the Abbey of Tournus, on the Saône River in France, possessed an old flabellum, which had an ivory handle 2 feet long, and was beautifully carved. The two sides of the ivory circular disc were engraved with 14 figures of saints. Pieces of this fan, dating from the 8th century, are in the Musée Cluny at Paris, and in the collection Caron. Very ornate and impractical flabella were made in gold and jewels in the Romanesque period. The example in the Metropolitan Museum is especially intricate. Examples of the Eastern Christian style is also found in the Slavic Ripedion of the 13th century, preserved at Moscow, and in the one shown in the Megaspolion Monastery in Greece. On this latter disc are carved the Theotokos and Child, and it is encircled by 8 medallions containing the images of cherubim and of the 4 evangelists. The inventory, taken in 1222, of the treasury of Salisbury, enumerates a silver fan and 2 of parchment. The richest and most beautiful specimen is the Flabellum of the 13th century in the Abbey of Kremsmünster in Upper Austria. It has the shape of a Greek cross and is ornamented with fretwork and the representation of the resurrection of Christ. St. Paul's Cathedral, London, had a fan made of peacock feathers, and York Cathedral's inventory mentions a silver handle of a fan, which was gilded and had upon it the enamelled picture of the bishop. Hamo, Bishop of Rochester, gave to his church a fan of silver with an ivory handle.